Somewhere on this planet, right now, there's an animal actively trying to figure out how to eat a person. Not defend itself, not scare one off, eat one. And by the time you finish this sentence, it's already closer to succeeding than you'd like to believe. We're not talking about animals that bite when you corner them. We're talking about the ones that hunt you the same way they'd hunt anything else on the menu. Patient, calculated, and disturbingly good at it. 7 of them. Real, alive, still doing this today. Not folklore, not back in the day, today. Different continents, different habitats, same terrifying pattern. You show up somewhere ordinary, and something's already decided what happens next. Real quick, hit subscribe if animals casually treating humans like a snack sounds like your kind of Tuesday, and drop your worst nightmare from this list in the comments once we're done, because I guarantee it's not the one you think. And the one at the very top of this list isn't even on any wildlife documentary. You've met it. You might even like it. Stick around. We're ranking by one thing only. Which of these has the most documented, real, human kills to its name, historically and right now? Let's get into it. 7. Bull shark. Thick, muscular, built like it skipped leg day and did nothing but bench press for its whole life. And unlike most sharks, it doesn't need the ocean. It can live in freshwater rivers, which means it shows up in places your brain has filed under shark-free. Here's the part that gets me. At Boa Viagem Beach in Recife, Brazil, a stretch of coastline that looks exactly like every postcard you've ever seen of Brazil, bull sharks, alongside tiger sharks, have attacked swimmers dozens of times since the early 1990s, and roughly a third of those attacks ended in death, a fatality rate way higher than the global average. Turns out, nearby harbor construction wiped out a reef that used to keep the sharks further offshore and funneled them right up to where the tourists were. One infrastructure decision, decades ago, and the water in front of a 5-star hotel strip turned into one of the most dangerous stretches of coastline on the planet. It's not folklore either. The same species is suspected in the infamous 1916 Jersey Shore attacks that low-key inspired half of shark movie culture, including a certain movie with a real big fin on the poster. That was over a century ago. Cold water, East Coast USA, about as far from a tropical reef as you can get. Which tells you something. Bull sharks don't need warm water or a coastline reputation. They just need access, and they're remarkably good at finding it. Bull shark takes the 7 spot because it turned a genuine vacation postcard into one of the deadliest stretches of beach on Earth, just by being where nobody expected a shark to be. Up next, the one predator that treats you exactly like its normal prey, no mistaken identity involved. 6. Polar bear. Everyone pictures polar bears as sad, majestic climate change mascots on melting ice. Reality check. They're the only bear species where the majority of fatal attacks on humans are straight up predatory. Not defensive, not "I was startled," hunting. Researchers who compiled over a century of polar bear attacks found that nearly 9 in 10 fatal ones were the bear actively hunting a person like it would a seal. That's wild, because seals don't exactly invite the bear over for tea. This is just what the bear does, period. In 2023, in the small town of Wales, Alaska, a polar bear killed a woman and her young son, the first fatal polar bear attack in the state in 3 decades. It happened during a snowstorm, in town, not out on some remote ice floe, which is exactly the trend researchers are worried about. As Arctic ice keeps shrinking, hungrier bears are spending more time on land, closer to people, and that number isn't going down anytime soon. It's not that the bears got meaner, they just ran out of the usual menu, and towns turned out to be a lot closer to their new hunting grounds than anyone planned for. Polar bear takes the 6th spot, because it's the one animal here that genuinely doesn't see much difference between you and its regular dinner. Coming up, an animal so good at not being seen, half its victims never even knew it was there. 5. Leopard. Pound for pound, arguably the most efficient killer on this entire list. It can drag prey heavier than itself straight up a tree. It can go from silent to full sprint before you've finished processing that it's there. and it has zero problem coming into villages, and even homes, to hunt. In November 2025, in Maharashtra, India, a 13-year-old boy named Rohan Bombay was killed by a leopard that had been hiding in a sugarcane field near his village. It's a scene that's played out for over a century in this part of the world. Leopards slipping into farmland where the crops themselves become the perfect ambush cover, tall enough to hide an entire animal 3 feet from a footpath. This isn't new either. Back in the early 1900s, a leopard known as the Leopard of Rudraprayag terrorized pilgrims traveling a single mountain road in India for 8 straight years, killing over 125 people before it was finally hunted down. It would break through mud walls and thatch roofs to drag people out of their own homes at night. No fence, no lock, nothing stopped it. Same playbook, the leopard's still running today, just a different field, a different century. Leopard takes the 5 spot, because unlike most predators on this list, you frequently don't get the ambush warning, you just get the leopard. Up next, the animal responsible for one of the single deadliest predator rampages ever documented, and it's still happening. 4. Lion majestic. Iconic. Absolutely still capable of deciding humans are on the menu when circumstances line up right. Lions are built to hunt in coordinated groups, which is terrifying math when the prey doesn't have claws, isn't fast, and lives in a hut with a door a lion can just walk through. This isn't a solo predator making a desperate call. It's a whole pride, working together, the exact same way they'd bring down a buffalo. Between 2002 and 2004, a lion nicknamed Osama by locals killed more than 50 people along the shores of Lake Tanganyika in Tanzania, hunting fishermen and farmers as drought pushed his usual prey further away. 50 confirmed. Some estimates go even higher. And that's actually mild compared to its cousins from history. Between 1932 and 1947, a pride of lions in Tanzania's Njombe district killed an estimated 1,500 people over 15 years, after a colonial cull of local wildlife left the lions with nothing else to eat. And decades before that, 2 lions in Kenya's Tsavo region famously shut down an entire railway construction project in 1898 by turning it into their personal hunting ground. Lion takes the 4 spot, because when the math runs out in a lion's favor, it doesn't hesitate to make you the replacement meal. 3 left, and the next one has more confirmed kills than any single animal in recorded history. 3. Tiger. The Sundarbans, a massive mangrove forest straddling India and Bangladesh, is the only place left on Earth where tigers still routinely hunt humans as a normal part of their diet. Fishermen and honey collectors who work in these waters wear masks on the backs of their heads because tigers here typically attack from behind, a trick that actually worked for a while, until the tigers apparently figured it out too. Between 2008 and 2022 alone, roughly 250 people were killed by tigers in the Sundarbans. There are now more than 3,000 documented tiger widows in the region, women whose husbands went out to fish or collect honey and simply didn't come back. Entire villages here plan their days, their routes, and honestly their whole lives around an animal most of us only see behind glass. And the historical record makes today's numbers look almost restrained. A single tigress, later known as the Champawat tiger, killed an estimated 436 people across Nepal and northern India in the early 1900s after an old gunshot wound left her unable to hunt normal prey. She holds the record for the deadliest single animal ever documented, before hunter Jim Corbett finally tracked her down in 1907. Tiger takes the 3 spot, because it's the only animal on this list with an entire region of the world still built around avoiding it. Right now, today. 2 left. And the next one doesn't even need to chase you. 2. Nile/saltwater crocodile. It doesn't hunt. It waits. Sometimes for hours, motionless, at the exact spot where you'll come to fetch water, wash clothes, or fill a bucket. Because in huge parts of rural Africa, that riverbank isn't optional. It's daily life. Nile crocodiles alone are estimated to kill somewhere between 200 and 300 people every single year, and that's almost certainly an undercount, since most of these attacks happen in remote areas with little to no reporting. Combined with saltwater crocodiles, crocodilians are believed to kill more humans than any other wild predator on the planet, full stop. And unlike most animals on this list, they're not doing it out of desperation or habitat loss. This is just Tuesday for a crocodile. In December 2010, South African adventurer Hendrik Coetzee was leading a kayaking expedition on the Congo's Lukuga River when a crocodile, completely hidden beneath the surface, grabbed him from behind and pulled him under. He never resurfaced. No trace of him, his kayak, or his gear was ever found. Then there's Gustav, a legendary reportedly 18-foot Nile crocodile in Burundi, blamed for killing over 300 people over several decades, big enough that hunters who've seen him describe him like they're describing a ghost story rather than a reptile. Nobody's ever caught him. Multiple expeditions have tried and failed. As far as anyone knows, he's still out there, somewhere along the same river, doing exactly what he's always done. Crocodile takes the 2 spot, because it doesn't need speed or stealth in motion. It just needs you to show up to the water, which, eventually, you will. We're one away from the top, and I promised you it's not what you're picturing. So let's take a quick detour first, because there's an animal that deserves a shout out before we get there. The detour, the mosquito. Real talk, the actual deadliest animal on Earth doesn't have teeth, claws, or a single muscle you could call intimidating. It's the mosquito. It's estimated to be responsible for around 1 million human deaths a year, mostly through malaria, which is more than every other animal on this entire list combined, several times over. But here's why it's not actually ranked. The mosquito isn't hunting you. It's not stalking you through tall grass with a plan. It's just doing what it does, and the thing riding along in its spit happens to be catastrophic. That's not predation. That's an unlucky delivery system. It doesn't even want you dead. A dead host is useless to a mosquito. Respect to the mosquito for the numbers. Doesn't get a spot on a man-eater list. Which brings us to the one that actually earns it, and it's going to sting a lot more than a mosquito bite ever could. 1. Humans. Here's the twist. Go check a mirror, because you're looking at the most prolific killer of humans on this entire list, by a wide margin, and it's not close. We don't hunt each other for food. Let's be clear about that up front. This isn't a Hannibal Lecter video, but by sheer number of human beings killed by other human beings, through violence and conflict, we're not just on this list. We're at the very top of it, and every other entry we just covered doesn't even land in the same neighborhood. Depending on the year, violence between humans is estimated to cause somewhere in the ballpark of 500,000 deaths annually, more than crocodiles, sharks, lions, tigers, leopards, and polar bears combined, without even trying hard. Here's the part that actually gets me. Every animal on this list needs something from you before it attacks. Territory, food, a gap in a fence. Humans don't need any of that. We're the only species on this entire countdown that kills members of our own species over things that aren't survival at all. Ideology, ego, land we don't need, arguments over something that happened decades ago. No crocodile has ever done that. No tiger has ever needed a reason beyond hunger. Think about it this way. A leopard needs a village that's cut off the forest it depends on. A lion needs a drought that's wiped out its usual prey. Every animal we just talked about turned to killing people because something forced its hand. Humans don't need to be forced. That's really the whole twist of this video, and it's not exactly a comforting one. So yeah, 7 genuine man-eaters, still active, still doing their thing across the globe right now, and the deadliest predator on the planet was never any of them. It's the one reading this sentence. 7 real animals that will still eat you, given the chance, and one that doesn't need teeth to beat every single one of them combined. Next time someone tells you the scariest thing in nature is a shark or a snake, you now know the real answer's a lot closer to home, and it doesn't have fangs, fur, or a single warning sign posted anywhere near it. So tell me, out of everything on this list, Which one would actually end you the fastest? Comment your pick, and if this messed with your head a little, go watch the video where we rank animal killers by how many people they've actually taken. Because a couple of the names on that list are about to surprise you even more than this one did.